Hi again, everyone. I want to finally start my video vlog for my gardening for this summer season. It's still early spring here in Canada Zone 5, but I have started with a couple things. I just wanted to quickly run through and kind of give some info on my plan for the summer. I'm going to show you a nice picture of the midsummer this flower garden here. Um, how beautiful it gets midsummer. It's just such a difference from what it looks like right now. You guys will be amazed. But yeah, we rent here, so hopefully, if I do start working on the garden here, I already have started, but hopefully we'll find out in the next couple weeks if we're going to be moving, because I'd hate to do all the gardening work, especially plants that take longer. Excuse me. And then we have to move, and then I have to start again somewhere else. Anyway, so we got a bit of a stream back there, like a little creek, and this is, like I already said, flower bed, which is really nice. So what I started doing here, you see there's already some flowers popping up, mostly tulips. Um, I left all the dead brush from last year, stems and stuff, just so the nutrients could go back into the ground, and to give some insulation for the buds coming up. Not like they need it. It's a very mature bed here, but um, basically the other day I came through and uh, cut everything down because they were still standing up. So I cut everything down, pulled some weeds out to slow them down. Um, they're all weak weeds in here. They're small, like viney kinds of things, um, and they're really developed. What do you call them? Perennial, and I forgot the other word for biennial. Biennial, I think. Flowers. So yeah, I'm leaving this stuff for another couple of weeks to so that nutrients can go back into the ground. So you see, there's already a lot of new buds coming up for the current plants. See, there's another one. Uh, hmm, here's another one. So these guys are already going, but you see, if we don't do a good job with, I think this is called the creeping Charlie. I definitely have a lot of creeping Charlie in this property, but if we don't stay on top of it, it will really limit the the grow potential for the year, for the season of these plants. So I've been going around a little bit and cutting them back to allow these buds to come through, while at the same time not exposing these buds too much to the cold. So I will make sure the old stuff is cut off, broken off, right? And then I'll just kind of push it back in around the plant, to maintain the insulation that it had before, because obviously the plant is detecting, based on its current condition, on the condition of that insulation, the rate, it's determining its rate of growth there, at least to my knowledge. So I play it safe. Anyway, so here is one of my vegetable beds. It's pretty small because last summer I started relatively small for the size of this yard. I have bed there, bed here, uh, bed here. I have perennial plants in the back part, and then there's like kind of rock separation there. And then I did a row in front of the rocks for salads I've been planting there. They've been doing really well. I made this bed last year. I put some flowers in there. Um, I also created this bed, which you see some salad coming back from last year in. This is broccoli stem, but pulled some weeds out, left them on the rock the other day. Same thing, broke down all the old stems that were still standing up, pulled out any roots that were still in the ground, and now they're just gonna get rained on for any remaining minerals to come out for the next couple of weeks before I plant anything, and turn the soil a little. I'm just gonna do a light turn of the soil, the surface this year. Um, Last year, to condition the beds, I did a pretty deep tilling, but this year, I think I'm just gonna do a light tilling since the roots for my plants last year didn't go very deep. I don't think it's really necessary, and I looked in and I learned a bit that deep tilling can be a little bit negative for our garden's health. So let me know in the comment section what you think, where you stand, what's your position on depth, till depth. Um, yeah, you can't really see. I'm gonna edge everything again, right? Right. The grass isn't very green yet. Um, Soil is all different colors, so you can't really see the fine lines just yet. But you'll definitely, that's one thing you'll see as we go. I'll definitely have to touch that up, especially so that any creeping Chester from my yard doesn't get into my garden. Did a really good job considering. I wish I had a before picture of this grass when I moved in here a couple years ago, but um, I've done a pretty good. I think I give myself some credit. My girlfriend has a horse, so I know animal manure, especially sheep, cow, um, horse manure. After composted, a couple of weeks of compost, or if you make a tea, they're very good for grass health. Um, Ideally, I think horses and rabbits and chickens are even better to help with grass. But yeah, I applied some of my girlfriend's horse's manure, which I noticed had an immediate kind of impact. You have to be careful to do that, obviously, spring and fall only. Otherwise, depending on maybe on your area, if you get some like week-long storms or something, you have to be careful that you don't burn the grass. Um, I also have a fire pit. We have a fire pit that we made. And so I know ash does a really good job at neutralizing the soil's pH, which um, also helps to fight off a lot of weeds like the what's it called? Creeping Chester, I think. So that I noticed has helped a little. I mean, I don't know if it's more the ash or more the manure. But another thing I've been doing is with my flat shovel, my square shovel, I go around and I stab, kind of like aerate the grass, but I jab lots, like a little bit every day, um, a little bit on occasion, not every day. When I get the time, especially dandelions, I've done a big job. Like used to be so many dandelions as well, and that I just go and cut them right in half, right down the root, sometimes in quarters, one, two, like do a cross on them, and sign their death wish for being on my lawn. But yeah, you see here, I Don't know what this is. Looks like very tiny creeping chesters. They're like dark right now. They'll brighten up later on, further into to spring. But yeah, definitely got some work to do there. I'll show you guys how I do the stabbing one day with with my flat shovel. Um, so here in this bed, I planted last year. I put broccoli, tomato, and sunflowers. And the sunflowers, everything grew fine. The broccoli was a bit hard to start. I have this here because I'm waiting for it to rain and to remind me that I gotta dump those are the remaining oyster shale dust. And I'm just gonna dump on the grass or something. Um, so yeah, the broccoli when it started growing, it was still, I transplanted them started them indoors, um, and actually they started as microgreens, organic microgreens, just leftovers, and I put them in, and it was a bit late already. It was like June, first week of June, I believe. So it was a bit late. It was, and I think they prefer a bit of shade. And this is my most sun exposure bed right here. I might even make it bigger this year just because of the COVID fears of food shortages and whatnot. Because this is definitely my best bed. I don't know if it has anything to do with the gravel under the interlock, the limestone, but definitely the most sun exposure. So I don't know if it's the best spot for broccoli. I might not be doing that there this year, or I might cover them the first few weeks that they're in there as they adjust to the heat. And if it's not yet hot, I don't know. We'll see what I'm gonna do. Maybe plant them somewhere else. I could use this space for better tomato production and whatnot. Tomatoes did really good here, organic. I had Roma and one Roma, one beefsteak here. The Romas did better. And the sunflowers got about I don't know, 5 feet tall, I'd say, by the end of fall. Um, they took a while to get going, but once they hit about 2 feet, they really picked up speed. Um, it's a sad story. First experience for me growing sunflowers, and um, like literally 2 days before I was going to cut the heads off to dry out the seeds. It was a nice big. There were two that made it to the actual stage of maturity, ready to be picked. I said, okay, a couple more days. I even added more protection from the squirrels. You guessed it. And of course, they got the best of it. So I'll be trying that again this year. This time, um, not taking any chances. This bed here, I did a lot of arugula last year, which came out really good. I'll do that again, as well as kale. Kale does phenomenal in my yard. That might be because there's a good amount of shade, particularly from this big tree, those trees there, block some sun. Yeah, so um, kale does. I'm not going to be doing that this year. Actually, there was still some more. I ripped it out the other day, more from last year. Let me know what you think about that. Do you keep your kale from previous years for anything? I don't have any chickens or any rabbits or anything here, though. I am considering getting some quiet chickens and rabbits this summer. It's just a matter of whether or not we're going to be staying here. But even if we go somewhere where I have another yard like this that has enough space for them, I really, really want to get into chicken and rabbit farming finally. Uh, I've only started gardening a couple years ago to mean my own garden to tell you to yeah, make that clear. So, you know, progressing slowly, right, on my to see what I can handle on my own, and learning less things than more at a time. Didn't thought it would be too much to be doing all these uh, vegetable gardening and farming at the same time. But maybe, yeah, hopefully this summer will be the time to try. So I I tried carrots here last year, and they didn't do good at all. I don't know. I know carrot. I think to me it seems carrots are among the most tricky to as far as substrate, like soil type. I think I would have to buy some sand, and I was lazy to do that last year, or cheap. I don't know, one or the other. Um, and so yeah, I think they need just good drainage, but to always be wet at the same time. Like I might be misunderstood. It's been a while since I looked since I learned on how to grow them well, but I did buy seeds again this year. Some seeds I keep from previous years, and some seeds, like new things I want to try that I haven't had previous years, I buy. So this year I bought um, cauliflower because I never had and whatnot. But generally, I like to bring a couple of my plants to seed, just um, to be able to have seeds for next year, or I take them from the tomatoes or whatever it is, the cucumber, squash, and I'll be planting all of those this year. So I hope you will follow me, follow along with me on the journey. Here, last year I actually planted a lot of flowers. I going to try, um, was going to try selling some flowers, but yeah, I don't think that's for me really. It was really tough doing that. I posted them online. So you see, from last year, I think it is, or maybe it's from earlier spring, like a couple weeks ago. I did some charcoal barbecue, and I just threw the extras on the grass. I don't know, ash from from the bonfire pit helps grass. So I don't know. So why wouldn't charcoal? I don't know. I hope I didn't mess up with that one. Anyway, here I got uh, a mint bush. I don't know if it's going to be coming back for me this year, but I did bring some in just in case. Ah, and what else did I have here? Oh, last year I had some more kale, tomatoes, um, basil, however you want to pronounce it, and Brussels sprouts maybe. Um, so here I said salad already, more broccoli. They did well here, and in Italian we call it radicchio. It's like red salad, and I had a couple other varieties of salad as well. Oh, I forgot. I did another little one. It's all still covered in leaves here to get some of the nutrients. But yeah, here I had a couple of other tomatoes and parsley and uh, not remembering what else right now. Hmm. I don't pack them in too dense, but this year, like the last couple of years, but this year I'm definitely gonna go a bit more dense because I could. Like my stuff here, I don't know what it is, doesn't get like humongous, and I also try to keep it as organic as possible. I don't uh, use any store-bought, um, what do you call them, products. Although um, I saw in the stores the fish emulsion organic fertilizer, which I think would it'd probably be my go-to for um, commercial store-bought fertilizer, garden fertilizer, not for the flowers, but we have wild rabbit here. Thank goodness. Well, I'd like to say thank goodness, but maybe not so much. I have to keep. Okay, here's a big tip for you guys. I keep thorns. I have a couple of different I have a rose bush. See, this is from last year. These are some thorns, and and this kind of tree that has some long thorns on it. You don't want to. I've gotten a point of it in my fingers once, but if you can see it here, it's getting a bit dark here now. But I use these to keep natural predator, like to keep rodents away from, because we got a lot of squirrels, chipmunks, birds, also, digging up roots to get worms. So I use this for as natural kind of pest. Oh, yeah, it's snowing again. Wonderful. Thought the groundhog said it was going to be an early spring. So much for that. Just another liar. So oh yeah, it's coming down. I wanted rain. I guess it's not much different, eh? If it doesn't stick, if it melts right away, it's pretty much the same stuff. Anyway, oh, it's more like a hail snow. There you go. So, yeah, the benefits of the rabbit is like where I don't put, uh, where I don't put the thorns, it leaves its little skittles to fertilize naturally. One of the best natural fertilizers. So in the flower bed here, I always find the little rabbit things because it's always eating in here. I don't know what exactly, but it makes no. You'll well, by now I showed you a picture of how big these plants get. So that these rabbit, even if there's a bunch of rabbit, there's only a couple really, but they have no shot on the size of these flowers. I love them. I love it. They're huge. Um, that's a grass I picked up from someone last year. Hopefully it'll come back. Not sure if I'm going to plant it or do what, or give it away to someone, but it's a nice little grass that someone was throwing away and I just scooped up. So yeah, that's basically it for now. This snow's coming down. Hopefully we won't be getting much. Anyway, won't last long, that's for sure. Um, so yeah, that's basically where I'm at for now outside, but inside I have already planted parsley. So I've started some little seedlings. Parsley, basil. I'm gonna be doing tomatoes soon. We typically put our plants in the ground here after the May 2/4 weekend, which is kind of like this safe time period for our zone, um, um, to beat the frost. So usually the last frost is a little bit before that, but that's kind of like our safe tradition in my family. So, and I think for most families. All right. That's being said, so a lot of the packets say to start seedlings um, 4 to 6 weeks before that weekend. So, which is now, right? Mid to end of April is fine to start doing a lot of these seedlings. A lot of things that need to go directly in the ground. Well, obviously, I'm gonna wait until at least the first week of May. because even though they're pretty resistant, a lot of these things like cucumber, peas, and carrots, I definitely want to be on the safer side. What else did I plant so far? Oh, I did a little vine of cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna start growing that. If it starts making little cherries on my bay window inside, then you could actually see as another one of my videos. I think I showed my bay video, a bay window, southern exposure, with the herb plants I already have. I have some rosemary and stuff, other stuff. Think that's pretty much it for now. But yeah, if you like the video, please give it a like and check out my other videos. And there'll definitely be a lot more coming soon. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have any thing you would like to share, things that you do different. Looking forward to vlogging, doing my first summer garden vlog. And I look forward to having you join me. Thanks and happy gardening.